friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sanchi and in today's video, we'll be going on a road trip to Digby. It is famously known as the scallop capital of the world. We'll be exploring this lovely town and all the adventure that it gives. But before that, remember to hit the like button on this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Let's get started. Our travel started from Halifax and we were going to Digby Neck. Now this travel would take approximately 3.5 to 4 hours. Let's go! Our journey had started from Halifax to go to Digby, and wow, the views were just amazing. From looking outside the window, we could see lots of greenery and forests and lots of scenic landscapes as well. After a long 4-hour drive, we had finally arrived at Digby Neck and we disconnected from the highway to park our car in a line that waits for a ferry. Now this ferry leaves every 30 minutes past the hour and helps us cross the water to get from Digby mainland to an island called Long Island. There is also a conveniently placed cafe there where you can just take a break. Shortly, just a few minutes later, we could see the ferry full of cars coming in our direction. We could see that the cars were getting departed off, and soon it was our turn for the cars that were waiting in line to get boarded on. I was so excited because this was the first time in my life that I was going to be able to go on a ferry with my car. Oh my god, it was so exciting. After the entire lot had been boarded on, the ferry had started moving and I was full with excitement. We were getting closer and closer to Long Island. The ride took around 5 to 8 minutes and it was tons of fun. We noticed that when we got off of the ferry, there was actually a cafe at the entrance, so we decided after our first stop at this island, we would come back here to enjoy lunch. We are heading to Balancing Rock, which is a rock formation that has been in existence for 200 million years. That is a very long time that dates back to the age of the dinosaurs. I am so excited to see this rock. It's a very cool place and we'll have to complete a trail in order to see it. So let's check it out. At the entrance of Balancing Rock, there's a very big parking area, and so we parked our car there and we went to the entrance of the Balancing Rock trail. Let's check it out. The trail was full of green everywhere. My eyes couldn't stop looking around. It was an amazing way to admire all the biodiversity and ecosystems that we got to walk through on this trail. Now this trail isn't very short and it takes some time to walk through. However, there were nice conveniently placed benches there, and whenever you wanted you could just sit there and relax, take a break from walking a lot. After around 20 minutes, we had finally finished the trail. However, we still had to climb 235 steps down in order to actually go to the viewing point where we can see the balancing rock itself. It had been a few minutes since we had started climbing down the stairs, and I was getting so excited by the second because we were so close to seeing the balancing rocks. We had finally finished the staircases and we could finally see a beautiful view of the ocean. It was absolutely amazing. The blue water shade was so peaceful to the eye. These rocky formations were created when Pangaea first broke, and that's exactly how the famous balancing rock was made as well. After an amazing trip to the balancing rocks, we came back to the cafe we saw earlier and decided to stop there for lunch. We had ordered the famous scallop rolls, clam roll, and a chicken burger. It was delicious. It was also a nice sunny day outside, so we also enjoyed a nice scoop of ice cream as well. From the cafe, we drove to the next ferry terminal that would take us from Long Island to Brier Island. This ferry comes every hour. The main activity we wanted to do on Brier Island was go whale watching. However, we still had a lot of time left because our ticket said we were going at 3:30. So we just decided to stop on the way at a lighthouse on Brier Island called Western Light. It was built in 1806 to help with navigation on the Bay of Fundy. Not only is it a historical lighthouse, but it also provides with amazing views of the water as well. So we stayed there for around 45 minutes to 1 hour to spend the time. From the lighthouse, we took another stop at a gift shop, and when we went inside, it was very big. There were lots of local items there, and it was very fun just walking around and seeing all the handmade decorations and other stuff that people had made here. The next activity on Brier Island was the one activity I had been waiting for the most. We were gonna go whale watching. We walked to the end of the ramp, and then we saw the boat that we were gonna take. we would sail 1.5 hours into the water and 1.5 hours back. I was so excited. They had finally dropped down the ladder that would lead us to the boat. The ladder was very steep and I was about to slip. The reason it was probably very steep was because the water was very shallow. This water, it comes from the Bay of Fundy, so it was probably a low tide by now. We had sat inside the boat now and we had gotten a corner seat, perfect so we can get amazing views of the whales. And now we were just being explained the safety procedures and what not to do on the boat. Eventually, after all the explanation, we had started our boat ride and I was so excited. Just around 10 to 15 minutes after we had started, we actually saw 2 bald eagles sitting on a tree as well as 2 dolphins pass by as well, but they were too fast and we couldn't capture it on camera. As we got deeper into the ocean, it started getting colder and colder as well. It was also very foggy and cloudy once we got in the middle of the ocean. Everyone wore their heavy jackets and I put mine on as well. On the boat, there was actually a nice chart that showed pictures and information of the whales and dolphins that we could see on this tour. And right next to it, there was also a screen that showed our current location and where we were on the Bay of Fundy. An hour into our ride and we finally got a glimpse of our first whale. It was flapping its tail and it was so beautiful. I was so happy because we had waited so long for us to finally see one whale. After our encounter of the first whale, we kept on seeing more and more, and then it just turned out to be an entertaining show. Absolutely mesmerizing and majestic. We had already seen a couple of whales already. This would probably be like our 7th or 8th one. However, this whale kept us entertained for 8 minutes straight with its specific and unique tail flap. It was absolutely beautiful. Hours into the water and now they were bringing us back. I was so satisfied with how many whales I had seen, and this trip was just absolutely beautiful and so fun. It would be a lifelong memory. Today was a very fun day, and ending it off while seeing some whales was just incredible. So from Brier Island, we took 2 ferries back to Digby mainland, and from there we stayed at a hotel overnight. We actually had a beautiful view of the ocean, and we saw an amazing sunset as well as a beautiful sunrise in the morning as well. From our hotel, it was around a 5-minute drive to downtown Digby, and driving through downtown Digby was actually very fun. There were lots of cheerful colors and lots of buildings there. It was a very nice drive. We had stopped at a place in downtown Digby and we got to see the Digby Pier Lighthouse as well as historic cannons that were used in wars and on battlefields centuries ago. It was very cool. There was some information on these boards as well. Another thing about this place is that it was giving amazing views of the coastlines of Digby. So we decided to stop here and take some time to explore this place because it was amazing. Right next to the cannons, there was also a memorial of the people and men that had fought in wars and other battles. We continued walking more and then we saw a farmer's market that was just opening up because it was early in the morning. There were lots of handmade local items there, so we decided to check that out for a few more minutes. As we walked down the streets, we saw another memorial, except this one was for the Korean War, and we could also see that there was a clock tower, specifically a tide clock tower, right behind it that shows us how much time there's left between high tides and low tides. There were benches there in this area as well as more stairs that led down to see some amazing views of the water and the waterfront of Digby Downtown. After exploring downtown Digby for a little bit more time, we decided it was time for breakfast. But the thing was, it was actually very late in the morning, so we decided to just have a heavy brunch. And so we ate scallops as well as pancakes and fish and chips for breakfast. After a delicious brunch, we set off driving, and we were actually driving through Annapolis Valley, which is Canada's richest agricultural region. We can see lots of farms and plantations over here, as well as acres and acres dedicated to growing crops. Annapolis Valley is known for growing apples and many different types of berries. This is why we decided to stop at a farming plantation to take in the beautiful green landscape. My eyes were dazzled by all the beauty, just mesmerizing. That concludes our trip to Digby. Did you enjoy it? I sure loved it. My favorite part of the trip was definitely when we went whale watching. What was your favorite part? Thank you for watching, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Till then, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!